How's this? The intro, that is.
A better you starts today.
And also the information that comes in after it, which is now, hey, thanks for coming back. If you are a viewer that watched once and thought, yeah, I'll give it a go again. Give it a go for the rest of your life. Let's just keep this ball of momentum going. Deal? Great. Everybody else, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Always appreciate your company, especially on this channel. Especially on this channel. My word, I am so grateful that you're here. And even if there's murderers here, hey, Uncle Geordie still loves you, especially if you're a patron. Sign up today. I'll give you information on how to do that in a second. But now, I need you to know about this. How's this for a phrase? You got your little notebook? Little success journal, which by the way will also be selling. God, there's a lot of things to flog on this channel, isn't there? You must hate it so much, and you still have to sit through it because otherwise you won't know how to succeed in life. And so here's the point. Here's the rub. Write this down somewhere. I don't care where it is. Pause the video. I need you to remember this. You done that? Good. If you are stressed, it is because you have this thought in your head and this thought only. I have to do this. All of the stresses in your life, if you follow their route back, there's actually a Freudian one that I want to do on the actual members only Jordan Shanks one, which actually is a really good plug, and that gets really deep rooted and has one of those moments of, my mum abused me and I just shut it out. You know, it'll have that to it. But I'm just going to give you the surface layer one for now, for the freebie cheatskates, because this is still invaluable information. You are stressed because you are saying, I have to do this and I don't want to do it. That is what is going on in your head. I have to do it. I can't believe I have to do this. Even think about, go back when your mums were yelling at you, and by mums, I'm still talking to you in singular. It's just I'm assuming that you came from a lesbian household, right? Because that's the average. And so, in fact, everybody that watches George, Shane specifically, was raised by lesbians. We all know that. So you, with your single mums, both of them at the same time, in dual sound, just imagine that my voice is doubling up, say, clean your room! And then you went out and you're like, I don't want to do it, I can't believe I have to clean my room. And then there was the Mary Poppins maid that you watched if you were a child growing up in the 70s, I'm guessing. And then they did that, hey, cleaning can be fun. All you have to do is turn it into a game in itself. And then that was a reframe, and then you thought, yeah. And then your parents yelling at you again going, do it! You just went, oh, fuck, I don't. What's really happening there? It's the same activity, and this is what we're getting to, which is exactly what Mary Poppins taught us, reframing. Reframing. You're going to hear me talk about it so much on this channel, and good, because there are so many things in your life that are just these minor annoyances that you go, and they accumulate, and you forget them, and you forget these little principles, and then so they just start building up, and eventually they win. So we're just going to de-weed some of those, but the way that you have to think about that is, same task, one of them stressed you out, the other one, hey, I'm on Lego Masters, except no one's filming it and I don't get to meet Hamish Blake. Yeah? Is this resonating? You have a task like that you're doing right now as an adult. In fact, there's many tasks that you're probably doing where you're thinking, I have to do it. And then that turns into what you call stress. Because what is stress? It is just an anxiety about the future. It's just this thing of, if I don't do this, I'm going to get fucked. My entire life is going to be homeless. Shit! And it's a good thing that you have that. Stress is an excellent motivator for a while. And then you lead to a nervous breakdown, like if you were in the corporate world. And then you decide, hey, this is really bad. Maybe I shouldn't be selling virgin orangutan forest in corporate law. I'm going to move to something else. Consulting, yeah. I'm going to advise companies on how they can destroy virgin rainforest. That's usually the move that they do. So I'm assuming you're not that fucked. You probably are, though, because you are on the self-help channel. There's probably a few of you out there that's just like, I don't like the social message, I just like the individual message. And I do think that. Honestly, I think that if you poo-poo the individual message, you are you're not effectively bad like the people that just poo-poo the societal message, but you're much more annoying. I'll give you that. You are much more annoying and why do you do it? You're a drain. You're a leech instead of a massive black hole on the universe. That's the difference, okay? So just understand that I'm right on both levels, and we'll move on. The thing that you're getting at here is that when you are stressed, it is always just this feeling in your body of, I don't want to do it. So what is happening there? Resistance. What is Buddhism mostly about? It is about moving the blockages of resistance to the outside world that just naturally pent up in human beings. Especially, when does this happen the most? Being a toddler. What are the most insufferable people that you ever meet in your life? They are people that are endlessly resisting what is happening in the outside world. So we're talking about all of these things, they start compounding on themselves. Self-help is just filled with all of these, like, you do this and you have no idea what the knock-on butterfly effect is, but you do know this, that if you are one of these people that is perpetually resisting the outside world, first off, you're not going to get much done because you're always just going to be like, oh, it's too much effort, and not do anything. That's the first thing. That's just it's such a detriment to yourself to have all these little resistances in your life. But the second one is you're just going to be naturally resistant when you are speaking to people, and people do not like people that when they always say, how about we do this? No, that's a crap idea. Fuck that. You can get away with that for a while, and eventually someone just explodes and then they start resisting on you. It is always that opposite effect that I think happens in physics, but it might just be some self-help books that I'm reading that just say that it happens in physics, because there's a lot of that. And I tend to believe that more because Deepak Chopra has a nice, more profound Indian guru voice. So that's what we're talking about. That's what I want you to start thinking about in your day-to-day life. When you are stressed out, it is because you have these little resistances that are building up. They are resistances in that you are not framing the activities that you need to do on a day-to-day basis correctly. There are so many times when I think, I don't want to write this script. I'm so stressed out about this script. I can't believe that I've got to do this. And that is because I've just, for whatever reason in my head, I've clicked into my head that you have to do this. This isn't fun anymore. You can find the joy in anything. That has to be one of the most profound realizations that I think ever came from the Eastern philosophical realm of self-help, which is that it doesn't matter what you're doing in life. You can be a slave and you can be a POW in prison. And this is proven from people's accounts that were slaves and POWs in prison. They're chock-filled with Stoicism, which basically is just Buddhism, let's be honest. It's Western Buddhism. It's just more beard stroking as opposed to baldness, just like this kind of face a lot, as opposed to like But it still gave you the same relaxed smile, which is what we're going for in life. And that's how you get there. That's how you get there. It's because they are always just saying, you focus on what you can control in life, and we'll get into that, and we'll do that in another video. But what we're talking about here is that like there's those outside influences that are coming into you. How are you interpreting those? Because let's just say for a second, and I always use this example because it's just so good. There was a POW that was caught in the Vietnam War. I think he was an American major. Can't remember. But he, while the rest of the people that were caught with him, and they were in those little bamboo huts with the did him out, people just throwing shit on them all day and poking them with sticks, and that's what you get for being invaders, man. Anyway, he seemed like a nice guy, so he probably didn't deserve it. And so he was in that pit being treated like a really, let's be honest, a mistreated animal, not like an animal, terribly. He said it was the best 4 years of his life. Why? Because he decided to make them the best 4 years of his life. He started looking for all the opportunities that it afforded him, which is what most people just do not do in life. They always like to, first off, not accept any of the blame, total loser mentality. But on top of that, and by blame, I just mean like responsibility for their circumstances. They always try and externalize it and be like, that's because of that. That's that person's fault. That's the first thing, right? It is the sign of a narcissist. But the second one is, and somebody that is just going to be insufferable and horrible to hang around. But then the second one, I think, is that these people just don't really want to accept what is currently happening in their life, ever. It's never good enough. And that becomes habitual in itself. And it is a bad habit to be in because it destroys the sanctity and peace of your mind. Do you want to be there? you want to be inside a little head that just feels like that little Mr. Squiggle drawing from the Mr. Men series? What was he? Was he ever just Mr. Stressed? If he is, that whatever that guy was, that should have been called Mr. Stressed, is what I'm saying. That's what's happening inside your head there. You are frazzled when you are stressed. You know what they say? There's like the top CEO performers of every business ever. They always say, this is the trait that gets them there. They are calm when everybody else is panicking. If you are able to do that in the time when everybody else is stressed out because they're just like, fuck, if we don't do this, if you are just able to sit there and say, no, this crisis, it has the opportunity in it, you are going to be one of these people that just keeps rising in whatever field that you choose to endeavor upon. You will keep earning your company money. You will keep making improvements if you're a public servant in the field that you're in. If you are able to just accept the circumstances instead of just bitching and complaining about it, which what does that do? All it does is make you focus on the boulder instead of, oh no, there's a pathway over there. I'll just walk around there. I felt like Limmy in Hello Traveller, you're in Adventure Call. You decide to walk east. That's what you can do instead. Yeah? So I'm just saying, if there is a boulder in your way, just think of it as like, that's not a boulder, that's a hippopotamus that's sleeping, and I'll just sit on top of it until it decides to move. And then die of starvation. But you'll be happy while doing it. You will be happier while doing it. And this is the whole thing. This is why we're talking about removing all of these stresses from your life. Because when you can do that, you can think more clearly, you can think more calmly. That's a successful mindset. So, how do we change it? It is this simple. Tony Robbins always uses this one, and I think it just cannot be beaten. You flip it immediately to, I don't have to do this, I get to do this. What's the difference there? Have to, you're being forced. I like freedom because I was brought up in the West and I've decided that eating spaghetti whenever I want is the ultimate in human experience. You have that, and then you have somebody that just says, no, I get to go to work today. And then you start thinking about what an honor it is to go to work. And then, because you're thinking about what an honor it is to go to work and what a privilege it is to get to go to work, while other people are, I don't know, unemployed or would like to have your skills and expertise, but just don't, you start thinking, Jesus, no, this is actually pretty cool. My job as the guy that trains police dogs and gets my nuts bitten by angry psycho German shepherds every day. I'm just in heaven. Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. You can change any circumstance you like in life if you just reframe it. But that is the quickest way to do it. Instead of I have to, which is the root of all stress. The root of all stress is I have to do this. You flip it to I get to do this. Immediately it changes. Immediately it changes the emotion. And then you will actually be, because you get to do it, excited to do it, no matter what the task is. So, if you found that useful, make sure that you sign up to Jordan Shanks. You can get an additional 2 videos a week. Ask anybody that is a member. They are always going to say, that's the signing program that you should be on. You know, like that is going to get you far. And it is going to get you far for, and I cannot stress this enough, the amount of money that I have made because I read these self-help books. Now, obviously, time is an investment. It's the labor of it is the investment. I'm going to get all Marxian on this. Ultimate success money grab. But the other thing is, I couldn't have sunk my time in anything better. Absolutely nothing. And I would have, even when I was unemployed, if somebody was just here saying like, you don't need to have a life coach or anything like that, just give me like less than what you'd spend on a can of Coke, and I'll just be there every day saying, hey, idiot, do this. I'll be uploading videos and saying, hey, here's a reminder of something to keep you on track. Because even just having this little 10-minute pep throughout your day, it's just going to give you that little juice. Yeah? It's just going to recharge your battery. It's going to give you some little thing to mull on. And the more that you mull on it, the more that it's likely that one of these things, or at least many of these things, will start impinging into your mind, and then that will become your daily habit. It is phenomenal to me that there's all these little things that happen in my life on a day-to-day basis now, where I just walk through and I think, yeah, that's the normal thing that I used to do. But if I go back to when I was 15, sitting on my ass, how depressing is this moment? Let me know if you had this. Did you sit there with microwavable chips and put them in the oven, and it was kind of like 12, but you ate at 10 and you just thought, oh, why'd I do that? And then you just kind of sat around and watched YouTube and shit and then came back and just ate chips. If you did that just then, by the way, like, there is no redemption for that. You should not be doing that. But I'm telling you, like, that kind of, like, disgusting moment in your life, no offense, it just doesn't happen to me anymore. I just don't have the time to get to the thing of, like, yeah, I guess this is how my life turned out. It's just, like, they're these kinds of, like, fuck it, that's easy enough, you know, like that kind of mindset just erodes, and you're always just thinking, no, I've got like this big masterpiece, this thing that I was designed and put on this earth for, and I am going to do the best of my ability to paint that little Sistine Chapel that is mine. You need that reminded in your head every day. You just do that you are here for a bigger purpose, and you are not living up to it either. And I think you know that. And I think that it is better that you have somebody remind you of that all the time, just giving you that little tap on the, hey, just move a little bit, just paint that little thing at the top there. Because at the end of your life, you can look back and be like, it was a Sistine Chapel, instead of that messy bed that won that UK award that everyone freaked out about and was like, you call this art? And I am in that boat. That was not art. Anyway, make sure that you subscribe to those. See ya.